Hello and welcome to Main Street Matters by Heart on Main Street, the podcast that helps retail owners eclipse their sales goals and grow their business. I am your host, Patrick Kaiser. Happy June, everyone. Can you believe that we are already halfway through the year 2024? I am amazed at how fast this year has flown by. As weather starts heating up, I hope you all are making plans to capitalize on people being out of their homes more, shopping more, and summer wedding and holiday seasons that are coming up. Now is a great time, if you have not already done so, to look at planning out events for your store or sales to help move product and get some extra cash on hand, especially because show season is right around the corner. In fact, the Dallas Apparel Show starts next week. That is then followed up in June by Dallas's Total Home and Gift Show, Kids World, and then Lightovation. And I know there's already one major toy show that's going on this week. And then as the calendar turns to June, we have the Atlanta markets and Vegas, and then New York now at the beginning of August. Holy smokes, so much is going on. These shows are crucial for business. Not only your at-once business, but there's also great opportunities to order products for the rest of the year and the holidays, or for next year, depending on the vendor's production schedule. Next week's podcast will be a recording of a recent panel discussion that Heart on Main Street hosted with retailers and representatives from the major marts to talk about trade shows and strategies to make the most of your time there. So be on the lookout for that next week. I thought it was a great conversation with tons of information about what the marts are doing to make your time more productive and some great tips for retailers. And if you're going to be attending the Dallas Total Home and Gift Show during the week of June 17th, come say hi. Heart on Main Street will have a presence in the lobby of the Dallas Market Center. This summer, we are partnering with them to have an exhibit in their lobby called Dallas Market Center Has Its Heart on Main Street. There will be a big display in the lobby about Heart on Main Street, and we'll be there to talk to retailers about the services we provide. This is really exciting for our organization, and I cannot wait to see how it turns out. In addition to that, we'll also be doing a live recording of this podcast at the Dallas Market Center, where I will get to talk to one of the developers of a Dallas commercial district, the Bishop Arts District, and Typo. I will be doing our Main Street Monday from there as well on Monday the 17th, and then we'll have our interview on the 19th. I have to say, I'm very nervous about that. I have not recorded a podcast live in front of people before. These recordings here in my home office in Chicago are usually filled with lots of starts and stops and redos, something that I will not be afforded the opportunity to do in front of a live audience. So again, if you're going to be in Dallas, come watch. Maybe it'll bolster my confidence. Maybe I'll have more nerves. Who knows? And lastly, at the Dallas show, we're also working with showrooms around the building to create a Love Local Day, which is really exciting. There will be a group of showrooms having events, parties, special drinks and snacks, or promotions on Thursday the 18th and Friday the 19th to show their love for independent retailers. We're calling it Love Local Day, and there are 2 days of the events. I absolutely recognize the conflicting nature of that, but we were putting it together over the last few months, and there were already things planned out by the showrooms, so we had to adjust to their schedule. In the future, the plan is to have a specific day planned out in advance and have this grow. My vision is that all showrooms will be involved and have something special going on for their retailers on one day, so that no matter where you're going, you're feeling the love from the vendors in the showrooms. For this summer, this is just happening in Dallas. Dallas Market Center has been incredibly supportive of us and our organization, so we approached them with the idea first. Ideally, we can grow this concept to the other marts in the future, and everyone can have their heart on Main Street. For today's episode, we're going to be hitting the road, and we're going to be exploring the downtown of Noblesville, Indiana. I loved this downtown, and it had been on my list to visit, but I have to admit I prioritized the visit because of the fact that it lay in the path of totality for the solar eclipse that happened back in early April. Fortunately for me, that also happened to occur on a Monday. So that gives you a little bit of an insight into how far behind I've fallen in my Main Street Monday recaps, but I am so excited to share Noblesville, Indiana with you today. I was so happy that I made the trip to Noblesville for this event. First off, the downtown area is tremendous. It's set up on a town square structure, which I'm such a huge fan of for centralizing the downtown commercial district. And just about every storefront was filled. The only one that I really remember being vacant was because a store had just moved off the square to a new and larger location. There was a great variety of retail genres or categories there to provide shoppers with the ability to find whatever they were looking for. There were new stores, there were community stalwarts, stores that weren't afraid to do experimental things. It was a really great downtown for independent retailers. And on top of all of this, the day that I was there, the town was buzzing. Yes, I was there for a unique occasion. There are not total eclipses every single week to bring people into the area for a Monday. But oh my, did people show up. I would have to guess that this was also great ancillary benefits for the town, too. It brought so many people to the area. They were able to see and experience what a great downtown this is. As the day went on and we got closer to the eclipse, I noticed that Noblesville was packed. Literally hundreds, plural, of people were walking the streets of the downtown area. And that might not seem like an overwhelming amount, but think of 500 people or so that showed up into the downtown that aren't normally there. It was an incredible sight, and Noblesville was ready for it. There was eclipse artwork on display. All the shops were open, even if they normally wouldn't have been. Stores were giving out their eclipse sunglasses, and retailers sold eclipse merchandise. There were weeks, if not months, of planning that went into welcoming people into the town for this afternoon. The estimates were that over 1 million people flocked to the area to view the eclipse, not specifically to Noblesville's downtown area, but also to the surrounding areas, to other towns that were around that were also in the path of totality. And honestly, I believe that number. My 3-hour drive to get there turned into about a 5.5-hour drive going home. The 2-lane country roads that I took in the morning without seeing another car were packed for miles after the eclipse. So I was there for a very special day that added an extra element to my visit. But if you strip away all of the fanfare and all of the hubbub of that event, Noblesville is still an excellent downtown. I met great retailers with every stop that I made. In reflecting back on my visit, the first retailer that I really want to highlight is the Logan Village Mall. This is a different structure of a store than I usually highlight because it's not just one retail store. It was a large space filled with many artisan and retail, I'll call them booths for now, inside of the store, inside of the larger building. The artisans and retailers essentially paid rent to Logan Village Mall to have a space, and there's a portion of the sales that go to Logan Village Mall off of every sale. This isn't a completely unusual setup. I've seen many spaces like this in towns that I have visited. However, what really stood out about the Logan Village Mall, and the reason that I want to highlight it, is what they've done to these booths. Again, that's not really the right word, but it'll give you the closest mental image. The owners have completely renovated the inside of the Logan Village Mall to essentially create a mini Main Street filled with vibrantly bright buildings and facades. Neon pinks, oranges, yellows, blues, greens, turquoise, purple, pink, everywhere you walked. And also, as you walked along concrete, but it had been painted to look like red brick walkways. The facades of these fake buildings included a second story with windows and plants and decorative embellishments. Each storefront had its own retail store inside that sold a wide variety of different items. You could find handmade artisan products in one store, and then walk to the next and find vintage clothing, followed by retro home decor and artwork in a third. It was fun, it was inventive, it was creative. It was such a fresh take on this concept. I loved the owner's willingness and bravery to completely shut down their location for an extended period of time to make these changes. It is something that I'm sure was difficult to do, but it's really made a world of a difference. In speaking with the owners, they said they received the inspiration for this from a town in the Netherlands with its bright colors and brick streets. I loved what they said on their website about this remodel, so I'll just quote it. Our goal is to mimic the feeling of old, lively, colorful cities throughout the world with gorgeous brick streets, and we nailed it. There's such pride in that one statement. So bravo to Logan Village Mall for being brave enough to do something different and having it pay off in such an incredible way. Directly next door to Logan Village Mall is a brand new store. When I visited, it had just celebrated its first month in business. The store is called Two Chicks District Company. The owners of the store actually have a television home repair and renovation show called Two Chicks and a Hammer, and now have a store within Noblesville. As you can imagine, it was filled with home decor and home accessory items that were very much a part of their style and brand. They also sold branded apparel for their show and for the store, which was fun to see. I love to see this expansion of their business. They were finding success in one area and wanted to bring their branding and style to consumers in another way. Now, running a retail business is a whole nother beast, but they have a great platform to market their store and their style, and I can see them being very successful with the retail business too. Another brand new store in Noblesville was Peony and Poppy. It was also celebrating its first month in business when I visited. This was a great home decor and accessory store with a very different feeling and style than the Two Chicks District Company, which really goes to show that stores do not compete with each other even in the same town. They really supplement each other. Products and styles that you'd find in Peony and Poppy, you wouldn't find in Two Chicks, and vice versa. So I love the juxtaposition of these two stores that started at roughly the same time with the same category of product, but were vastly different from each other. Each services different customers in different ways and can coexist within the same downtown. The first thing I noticed about the store, and that I still think about when I reflect on all of the Noblesville retailers that I visited, was their wallpaper. It's kind of a strange element to really remember because it doesn't have to do with the product of the store or the merchandising, but it was so memorable and unique and added this great element to the experience of the store. It was a nice muted pink with floral designs all around. Now, I'm not great with flowers, but I assume it was either peonies or poppy flowers that were represented in the designs. It created this environment that really contrasted with the outside in such a delightful way once you walked into the store. Whereas the feeling on the square was bright and expansive, inside the store you felt compressed and comforted as though a blanket was placed on your shoulders. The store featured beautiful, colorful displays that really caught the eye everywhere you went throughout the store. And one element that I thought was really creative was the use of a couch right at the very front of the store. It was a gorgeous couch, very on brand for the rest of the style of the store, and had choppable pillows and blankets adorning the seating. And seating really is an important element within a store for shoppers to drop off their, male counterparts who were a drag to the whole shopping experience. So this was a nice, comfortable spot for them to sit and rest, but right in front of the couch, really out of the way of the rest of the product, was a bar cart filled with men's items. So as they sat there, they could say, well, yes, I would like these whiskey glasses, or yes, this crystal decanter shaped like a golf club is very nice, or ooh, I like that book about making cocktails. It was a really great way to isolate the distracting customer and provide them with a way to shop from the couch. While the store Peony and Poppy was brand new, the owner has a really great mentor in the owner of Charisma Boutique next door, her mother. Charisma Boutique has been in Noblesville for nearly a decade and provides a great selection of fun women's fashion items ranging from chic to casual clothing, jewelry, candles, cosmetics. There's also a wonderful element of snark with the products as well. From a decor standpoint, Charisma Boutique greatly differed from Peony and Poppy. The brick walls and rustic furniture display pieces were a great fit for the items that you could find within the store, but again, contrasted very differently from Peony and Poppy next door. The last store that I want to highlight is a 2-year-old fashion boutique called Just Lagom. This store has a very boho chic feeling throughout the store with their products of apparel and home accessory items. And it added this extra element to the downtown for shoppers of a different style. And it really opened up more shopping selection for customers. In addition to these, there was gaming stores, one called Moonshot. There were candy stores, traditional gift stores like Linden Tree, antique stores, and an annex to the antique store, and a whole bevy of restaurants that just served the area really, really well. Kind of a secondary thing that I've been doing as I've been going to visit my towns. I've been stopping at restaurants. I have to get lunch, obviously, and trying out burgers from different places. And maybe somewhere out in the future, I'll have a whole different thing of different burgers from different towns. But that's another idea for another time. Because of the events happening in the downtown, some stores closed early and others were kind of too busy with customers to be able to talk to me. But overall, it was an incredible experience to visit Noblesville, to not only experience the eclipse, but it really was a tremendous downtown area. And it's great to see retail thriving in this downtown. The eclipse was almost a microcosm of the community, the connections that retailers have, and everything that they're doing to help their community grow, to help retail businesses be more successful. They gathered together, they worked together, they planned things together to really make this one day such an incredible event for the hundreds of people that came into town. And this community element is what helps retailers grow in a downtown area. It helps retailers be successful. They're not competing with each other. They're supporting each other. They're supplementing each other, viewing the downtown as one ecosystem that can be more successful together than if they are competing with each other. As I mentioned earlier in this episode, next week we're going to have an interview that I conducted with Cole Daughtry of Dallas Market Center, Angelia Singleton of And More, Carol Schroeder, retail owner of Orange Tree Imports in Madison, Wisconsin, Donna Hale, retail owner of Doozy's Corner in McKinney, Texas, and Matt Treist, owner of Be Charmed in Medfield, Massachusetts. This will be all about getting prepared to attend a market, different strategies, different tips that retailers have, different things that are going on at each market so that you can be as prepared as possible to really have a great market experience. I hope you all have enjoyed this episode as much as I've enjoyed bringing it to you. This episode was written, produced, researched, and edited by me, Patrick Kaiser. Stay safe, shop small, and I'll see you all next week.